multi-exclusive dimensional being Kai with another exclusive. Today's video is going to be about what is karma and how to beat it. Because understand and understand this. We in 2020. You add that up, that's 40. So basically, 4 is dealing with Cancer. That's dealing with the fourth house. That's dealing with nourishment, carrying, and of course, that's a 360, which basically what goes around comes around. So understand and understand that this is the year of karma. So if you don't know your karma by now, or if you're in a circumstance situation of feelings and emotions, then we basically about to get into this shit because what the fuck is karma? Because you got to know what you're fighting in order for you to basically know what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So understand and understand this. Karma is basically your macabre, your moon, your mermaid. Feel me? And of course, karma's a bitch. But at the end of the day, we all got moons. Whether you a male, female, masculine, feminine, it don't matter. It's the same shit. The same circumstance, situations, circumference that you stand in, which is the 360, which is the center of it. You are the center of attention. The galaxy, the solar system, is around you. They used to be very close. But of course, once they start drifting out, they start to go away. But when every 2,000 years, they get closer and closer. So basically, that's just the planet that's coming more dense. And then when things come more dense, there's rebirth and new circumstances and situation. That's how you can see the government, they basically are losing their power. So they're coming up with narratives to basically keep y'all indoctrinated and keep y'all into their shit. Because when these planets do hit, when this shit does hit the surface, of course, it's going to be a big flood. It's going to be natural disasters. It's going to be all kind of shit. You feel me? And of course, if you in control, you in power, and you want to basically keep things running, of course you got to keep people indoctrinated. But that age is dead, right? So basically, this right here is the age of Pisces, which is believe. So basically, we don't believe in y'all shit no more. We in the stage of age of Aquarius, information. We knowing everything already, whether it's through technology, whether it's through spirituality or self-individuality. Understand and overstand that shit, because we in the age of where we basically taking our power back. So if you ain't on your spiritual power, if you ain't on your spiritual journey, you're going to the world, you're going right back to this world, age of Pisces. And basically, Pisces is dealing with belief. So that's how karma get its power. So what you believe with your two eyes and what you believe with your spiritual eye is what you receive. So once you basically put your mind, body, and soul and attention into an orb, once you start creating circumstances and situations, once you start building on ideas and concepts, once you start basically creating a pool for yourself and basically adding that shit, it gets heavy and it gotta comes down into density. These are your ghosts. These are your mermaids. This is what you're creating. Understand, understand that shit. This is what you creating. So don't point fingers, don't blame hands at nobody. This is what you decide to basically perceive. Of course, there's many programs and so much shit that's basically running on all over the day on a day-to-day basis. And basically, what you pay attention to is what you're going to receive. And it's saying, understand that shit. What you pay attention to, you're going to get that shit back in some way, shape, and form. So if you're paying attention to certain shit that's basically causing harm towards you and fucking with you and bringing you down in some way, shape, or form on the 360 scale, when the earth rotates and do its 360, when it spin around and shit, that's what you're going to receive. That's what you're going to be hit by. You're going to be hit by heavy waters, influences, and fluid. Remember that. Your soul is basically dealing with the feelings and emotions, which is the water. Your spirit created that. The spirit is responsible for the soul. The soul is responsible for the body. The body is being controlled by the soul. The soul is being controlled by the spirit. So basically, if you got all three and you're not taking control, you're just basically putting all your waters into one aspect. The other two waters is basically being taken advantage of behind the scenes. So if you're not doing nothing about that, you're just sitting back and having this shit create and building all that negative shit on your mind, and all it's gonna do is just fuck you over. Because understand and understand this shit. There's good karma and there's bad karma. But the way karma is looked at in a bad way. So of course, now if you got good karma, you doing good deeds, you going around the neighborhood, hooking up people, helping out people and shit. That's good karma right there, right? And the bigger that orb get, the better. And always remember that it's a law of attraction. There's a lot of people that's hating out there. So of course, if you're doing good for the community and shit, they gonna hate. Feel me? So that's negative too. And when you got a whole group of niggas hating on you, that's negative too. So look at it like this: hate is love at the same time, cause they love to hate. But look at it like this: if they love to hate, they always gonna be in that circumstance situation. And basically, the people that you showing love for, they could fuck around and start talking shit about you behind closed doors. That's karma. That's basically being built and influenced through you on circumstances, situations. Now, say if you had beef with these people, right, and you basically put them into a circumstance situation where where negativity is basically being brought up, as far as negative thoughts, negative feelings and emotions and ideas and concepts. So basically, once you put yourself into that circumstance situation, you ain't do anything to basically cut ties and make shit even. You left that pool open. So this shit's gonna grow, and you're responsible of it because you gave your mind, body, soul, and attention to that person. So basically, you believe into what you was basically doing, and you push that back out. This goes from relationships, all kind of spectrums and shit. But I'm just using the prime example. So basically, this is what you put out. This is what you are leaving out. So once you came into a process, circumstance, situation with a face to face and ties with somebody and shit, and they agree to the terms and conditions, and depending on how much harmness you did to that person, whether they think a negative towards you, because remember, you can voodoo and all kind of negativity is still being existed through the mind. And also, whether they playing video games or whether they trying to, like, shooting or doing all some kind of killing shit, depending on how badly you hurt that person, that's what's on their mind as far as basically what's being presented to. So with that being said, it could become a circumstance situation where you get shot and killed just because you left that pool open, and just because you wasn't subconsciously, unconsciously, and consciously aware about things, as far as like handling things on another perspective. You ain't do no kind of contemplations, nothing. You ain't do no spiritual natures or anything. You just left that pool open, and basically it start to basically grow. So once this basically being spread out to other people, places, and things, it gets to a circumstance situation where the shit get dense and heavy. So it starts to spread out. You start to get certain aspects about your eye could be twitching, all kind of shit. Your nose be itching. People talking about you, all kind of shit. That's how it plays out. So listen, that's just a prime example. So another example, for instance, if you go around, you kill somebody and shit. Let's use one of these examples. Like, you can just go around, you just kill somebody. Depending on how strong you are on the mental level, if you mentally weak, then that's what you're gonna pick up. You're basically gonna be a weak spirit, and you're gonna have weak feelings and emotions. And basically, what you did as far as killing somebody is gonna tear you down. You created that cloud. You created that ghost. So basically, this is what's gonna basically keep coming back over and over again, as far as haunting you in some way, shape, or form, or doing some kind of shit to you. Feel me? And you gotta understand that what you pay attention to is very powerful. Like, what you see with your two eyes is powerful because that's a reflection of you. So once you put yourself deeply rooted into something like that, it plays out into the spectrums of basically reoccurring. You may have nightmares, you may have dreams, depending upon how you basically dwell upon that situation, and depending on how that person felt about how you killing them. They motherfuckers can haunt you into the spiritual realm, almost to the point they can be born into you being your kid again, and that shit goes deep to the point where it can really be like this: a person you killed, you can have so many deep desires and deep emotions for them and shit, to the point you just might have a child, and it might be a daughter, and that person you killed can basically be your child. That's how deep it goes. But we ain't gonna go too deep because this shit go deep. That's why certain family members don't get along with certain people and shit. That's why they have clashes. That's why they have arguments and shit. Certain family members don't basically come hand in hand. And you got to look at it like this: you got two families, a spiritual family and a physical family. So you got to separate the two. Understand that shit. And that goes deep. But we basically gonna stay on track. We're gonna stay on board. So it's like you got to be in the frame, and this is basically, you have to be in the frame of not giving a fuck. Like, your mind state, you gotta basically be in good vibes. Like you gotta like if you want to feel the need to kill somebody, you gotta smile. You gotta make sure like you live this lifestyle. This is what you do for a living. Feel me? You can't have no sad emotions or anything like that or none of that shit. Feel me? Because once you do that, basically you just created a orb. You created an aspect. So it put you into the circumstance situation where you start to have guilt, you start to have worry and shit, and that's a program. And once you are infiltrated into that program, that's what happens. And depending on how much time you was put into that shit, that's how much you're gonna bury yourself into your own karma. Now let's get into basically how to beat karma and how to defeat karma. Understand and understand. Once you basically did something as far as bad karma, like something bad, you have to take yourself out of that on a thought process, on a feeling and emotion, and on a unique level. Because we in the age of we in the age of Aquarius. So 2020, that's dealing with space for four. It's karma lost its power because a lot of people not believing into other shit no more. Like people just coming out with information, they coming out with their own unique manners and shit. So karma don't really have too much power. For me, karma was doing her thing, killing certain beings, killing certain demigods, coming after certain people, places, and things and shit. So karma don't really have power no more. People not into religion no more. Feel me? Religion is reliving, redoing, reincarnation, redoing something over and over again. So basically, once you get up out of that aspect, that's how it's supposed to play out. Like you start to believe into yourself. Feel me? That's what we came here to do. Believe in ourselves. We ain't come here to get lost into other people spectrums of other people programming and shit that'll keep us stagnated and basically stopped into one process. No, your spirit gotta be uplifted. You gotta keep moving. You gotta be in and out. Feel me? You can't be staying in one spot because that's basically hell. That's like hell. Karma is like hell, depending on how negative it is and shit. You basically in a routine pattern. And when you do die from this world, you're only gonna basically carry your karma with you. Karma is like the moon. That's what you're carrying. So if your karma is still down here and you in another world, your karma is slowly coming towards you in some way, shape, and form. It's gonna play out into that aspect. Whether you something that you don't like, is something that you don't agree upon, and that plays out into the smallest micro to the largest macro. So it plays out into a heavy road. It becomes a heavy cloud, and depending on, like for instance, like if you was Adolf Hitler and you go around killing all kind of people and shit, of course all those motherfuckers gonna be angry and mad about you. And feel me? And if you died not giving a fuck, it won't really harm me. But if you had a lot of people that had energy towards you on a negative level, it's gonna harm. It's gonna basically add a lot of weight towards you, and it's gonna follow you to your next life. So depending on how much power and energy you put into it, and depending on how strong you is, that you can get yourself out of it. That's why it's good to basically, infiltrate things and make sure you have some good karma with you. For me, we always gonna have bad circumstances situations. But put yourself in a good circumstance situation where you basically create circumstances situations for yourself for fruits and labors to come into your way on the bigger level, on the bigger spectrum. It's not too much negativity. Feel me? Especially if you don't know yourself spiritually, you don't know how to move around in the yin realm, and you just basically a ghost and you trying to look for another body to ascend. It's gonna be very hard. Feel me? And like the only way for you to actually beat karma is exiting yourself out of negative feelings, emotions, and thoughts and ideas. And this basically goes on a 360 daily basis, depending upon how long you stay on this earth. So every time the sun come out and the moon come back around and do a 360 and turn around, this can also play out with planets and having retrogrades and conjunctions and shit like that. You're gonna match people, places, and things that can go with you or don't go with you or opposing. That's how it plays. That's how it plays out. And you gotta build a better spaceship to put yourself in a circumstance situation so you can be more secure and have more knowledge and wisdom. So this way, when things do come collide, you will have more information. You can write down certain scriptures, go outside and do certain shit. Another thing is, when you meditate, that's very, very powerful because when you do meditate, you basically stop that shit. You stop all that shit. You create. This is your world. This is how you create shit. You cleanse all that shit out, and you put yourself in a circumstance situation where you want to be, and not where the planets and the other shit gonna formulate and throw hard rocks at you and throw asteroids at you to basically have you ponder like, oh shit, this is the rock that basically harmed my spaceship. So that's how you play it out, and that's how you be karma. Fight all negativity, all negative emotions, thoughts, and ideas and concepts. Meditate, go within, write down, do some spiritual, some rails, go outside, do a 360, clear your mind, be in a good state of being. That's how you pretty much be karma, and that's it, that's all. And we in 2020, so make sure you on a spiritual path and don't let karma fuck with you. Don't do it.